υποψίαστη έφτασα στα 30, ζώντας με τους φρενήρις ρυθμούς του κλάδου της διαφήμισης, την εποχή που η κρίση διαφαινόταν, αλλά κανείς ακόμα δεν ήθελε να πιστέψει. Αυτός μου ο τρόπος ζωής διακόπηκε απότομα, απρόσμενα και σοκαριστικά, όταν γέννησα πρόωρα την κόρη μου, που ως έμβριο την έχτισα με παγωτό. Θυλάζοντας, είδα πόσο επηρεάζεται από ό,τι τρώω. Η μυρωδιά της, η υφή στο δέρμα της, τα χρώματα στη γεμάτη πάνα της. Και για πρώτη φορά ένιωσα ότι έχω όλη την ευθύνη και την αρμοδιότητα να ενημερωθώ για να είμαι και να προσφέρω το καλύτερο που μπορώ. Για έναν άνθρωπο που μέχρι κάποια στιγμή και σε ένα σημαντικό βαθμό έχω την τιμή να του ορίσω τις συνήθειες, την υγεία και τη ζωή. Άρχισα να μαγειρεύω, με καμένα και αποτυχίες. Να ρωτάω, να διαβάζω, να αφιερώνω χρόνο.
Every woman starts reading, dedicating time and waving goodbye to all my leisure activities. But I started seeing important differences.
Σήμερα είμαστε 4 στην οικογένειά μου. Έχουμε μια διατροφή.
So today we have a family of 4 with normal diet. My allergies, my sensitivities belong in the past, and we have a stable body weight despite any emotional disturbances. Urban life brings forward important difficulties in terms of diet and nutrition. It's something that has been identified by the WHO. Over the past 8 years, I have been focusing on a good diet ever since 2011. I have been a volunteer in a scientific group, and we are being guided by a competent disciplinary board focusing on the proper diet for children and teenagers. And our goal is to familiarize children with the good principles, the principles of a good diet and balanced diet. And our goal is to inhibit and prevent diabetes, leading to smaller costs for the healthcare system. People who can spend less, eat better, can discuss with each other, and the family members can bond. What does good nutrition and good diet mean? After 13, 14 years as a whole life coach and not as a nutritionist is the following. Good diet is the natural diet. Ideally, from what comes in from the farm directly, what comes from the sea, what comes from the tree, well, of course, to the extent that this is feasible. And raw food is equally important. As the more unprocessed the food, the better it is. Because in order for the product to have a good shelf life, all nutrients have been stripped off this food. It usually includes preservatives, in order for that to be able to stay there. And the more colors we have in our diet, I want to put that in layman terms, but it's valid. The more colorful our food, the more beneficial properties we enjoy and take. Also, good food is produced locally in order to avoid the environmental cost of transportation, maintenance, and in that way we can enjoy high nutritional value. And of course, good diet is a seasonal diet, meaning that we consume food during the season where they are being produced, without having to consume various preservatives. And yes, okay, that theory is all good and well, but how are we going to apply that in practice? Because everyone has developed their own habits. And those habits need to change in order to improve our diet. Therefore, a key in order to change our diet is to opt for the nutritional relocation, let's say, meaning instead of removing things from our diet, relocating them by adding more beneficial food. Let me give you the example of coffee. Coffee is an energy boost. I drink it, it helps me wake up. If someone consumes coffee on a daily basis, in that way, if we remove that thing, then the system is not going to tolerate or stand that. On the contrary, if that person starts drinking more water, eating more more high nutritional foods, and add some physical exercise in their routine, then they will end up reducing the amount of coffee they consume, and they will eventually need lower doses of coffee. Another general goal in order to improve our diets. Of course, we need to consume less junk food, less sugar, less meat. Many of us believe that we can preserve our body weight and health status by measuring or calculating the calories. That's as much I need, that's as much I burn, that's as much I consume. But this is not valid, because that would be all math and we wouldn't have any obese or overweight people. It's not that simple. The quality of the calories intake is of paramount importance. Sensorial joy is also another important aspect, and let me explain that. Sensorial joy meaning that when we eat something, we need to satisfy our five senses. It needs to look good, to have a good smell, has a good crunchy texture, being juicy or anything else. If we don't focus on that, then this sensorial deficit is going to lead to cravings. And it is also important to be there when we eat something, okay? We shouldn't scroll up and down our mobile screen or watching TV, because in that way, my brain does not convey the right message and the digestion does not begin, because our brain is too occupied with all the other triggers and stimuli, and therefore we won't feel like we're full for any time soon. And it's also very good to listen to our body. Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I in the face of an emotional craving? Something has happened and I'm trying to eat my emotion. All those things are very important, and this brings me to the next topic. Is a healthy diet is enough in order for us to be healthy? Can you give an answer? Thank you, Zana. We didn't listen to the answer. It was off the microphone. No, the answer is no. Imagine something that you already know or might have heard from your friends. Imagine a deficit, a problem, a bitterness, let's say in your social life or your finances, a debt, a mortgage, a threat of losing your home, an education deficit, the situation at home, if there is toxic ambience at home, or verbal violence, or a health issue with someone we love or ourselves. If we are being faced with problems in our career, if our professional life is miserable or boring, or if we don't work out at all, if we are missing joy, creativity, and sometimes when people miss that, then they develop health problems. If we don't have home-cooked food, if let's say that we're being faced with deficits across all sectors, So that might also lead to health problems. And therefore, imagine then in yourself, are you being faced with deficits in those sectors? And what could you do? Because this is what holistic care is all about. And this brings me to another thought. Holistic diet, holistic health. Are those things enough when we live in an environment when the nature suffers? As consumers, we can do a lot about that. We can use less plastic, we can buy less plastic-wrapped products, we can reuse more. Like I said before, we need to opt for the local, seasonal and natural foods. We need to spend less time in front of our screens because screen means high energy consumption and artificial intelligence is so energy intensive. It entails a huge environmental footprint. We need to travel maybe less. And this brings me to the next video. Can we watch that, please?
About her baby's clothed diapers, how she had to wash them by hand every day. We are really fortunate to have washers today. When I was a little girl, she squeezed oranges for me, and she served the juice with a paper straw. What a luxury. She'd go to the market with her net bag and egg tray. Flour, rice, and legumes would be bought by the kilo in newspaper cones. The milkman would come by every morning, and she'd get milk with her metal jug. She'd have a dress sewn for her on special occasions, and she'd treat herself with a new pair of shoes every 5 years or so. All the kitchen waste would end up in the garden. How much trash did this household produce? Now, life is easier and faster. Disposable diapers, baby food pouches, plastic coffee cups and cutlery to go, everything packaged in single-use plastic. Toys, detergents, snacks, toiletries, even water. So how much trash does a contemporary household produce? Do you need to buy something new? What does it cost to the earth and our future? Choose timeless, durable, made of natural material. Grocery shopping? Choose paper bags. Buy in bulk and carry your own containers. Reuse packages you already have. Opt for second-hand clothes and toys. No doubt, changing our habits is challenging, but it's really worth the try.
The speaker's microphone is off. Okay, now it's on. So, we are all united. I am you. We are the plants, the animals, the sea, the nature. And the more I look after myself and yourself and the nature, we look after each other. So, I am Aspasia Provou. I am a children and adults trainer. I'm also an energy coach, and I help people overcome their traumas, their limiting beliefs in order for them to achieve their goals. Thank you for your attention. Okay, what you talked about is all good and well and very interesting. At the end, you said that we need to refrain from screens. Can you explain how? Because everything leads us to using screens and pieces more and more. I fully agree with what you said, but kindly give us a tip on how we can practically do that. Thank you.
Στη χρήση της τεχνολογίας.
When it comes to technology use,
επειδή υπάρχει πια παντού,
given that technology is omnipresent, we need to find just the right balance. It is very important, especially in children. We need to set boundaries. And at the same time, it is equally important for the children to know their way around technology. So it's all about finding the right balance rather than the actual minutes spent in front of a screen. It also has to do with the minutes spent in front of a book, in the nature, at sea, cooking, and so on and so forth. So that's my answer. We need to find the right balance. We didn't hear the question. The answer was yes, you need to do that. Well, the state and the international community lead us towards the opposite direction, so we all need to find the right balance for us. If I ever find that, I will let you know. Well, there are some instructions and tips offered by the international organizations about screen time. And it's very important to consider that. That's all. Thank you.